Hi everyone, my name is Monique.
And I'm Naveen from Before You Play.
And today we're going to be showing you how to play a trick-taking game called Sandbag.
Yes, this game is designed by Ted Alspach and published by Bézier Games, who are helping sponsor this video. And in this game, players are trying to fly their hot air balloons as high as they possibly can, trying to beat their opponents by dumping sandbags out of these balloons so they can score the least amount of points.
Yes, this is a trick-taking game for 3 to 6 players in which you are trying to avoid taking the trick so that you can score the least amount of points by the end of the game. And so today, we're going to be showing you how to play it. But for more information regarding the game, we've included a link to the publisher's website in the description below.
Now, if you like these kind of videos and you want to see more in the future, please consider subscribing.
And with that, we are ready to begin. So if you'd please direct your attention to the center of the table, we're all set up here to play a 4-player game of Sandbag. And as you can see, here we have the deck of cards. The backside of the deck is all represented by sandbags, which of course we are trying to get rid of from our hot air balloons because they weigh them down and they won't allow us to fly at our maximum altitude. Now truly, the deck is comprised of 5 suits and they're numbered from 0 to 10. In addition, we also have rocket cards that are worth -5 points, and in higher player counts, specifically in a 5 or 6 player game, we also have rockets that are worth -7 points. But since we're going to be demonstrating a 4-player game, we're going to leave those out of the deck. To set up the game, first shuffle the deck of cards, and then deal the cards out evenly amongst all players. Then, once all cards have been dealt, players are ready to begin the game. Now, a game of Sandbag is played over the course of 3 rounds, and before each round, players first start by passing a card to the player to the right and another card to the player to their left.
Yeah, so this way you can get rid of some undesirable cards, but also know a little bit about what your neighbors have.
Once that's done, then players will simultaneously choose 2 cards from their hand to place face down, forming their hot air balloons basket, as well as a 3rd face-down card to be used as their sandbag for the round. Then, once everyone's chosen their cards, players will simultaneously reveal the 2 cards in their baskets. And now we are ready to begin the round by first determining the round's trump suit. The suit that is the most represented in each player's basket is the trump color, which in this example is orange, because there are 3 cards that are orange as opposed to all the other suits. Now, I will say that it is possible to have multiple suits that are the trump, as well as no trump suits, but more on that later.
And if you never played a trick-taking game before, the trump suit is the one that is considered the most powerful.
And since orange is this round's trump suit, because I have the highest valued card in the trump suit, I'll be the first player. And so a round is played over the course of several tricks. And if you've never played a trick-taking game before, a trick is basically when each player has played 1 card each. So then, the first player will start the trick by playing a card, which is considered to be the trick's lead suit. Then, following standard trick-taking rules, each player, in clockwise order, will also have to play a card from their hand following the lead suit, which means if Naveen has a blue card in his hand, he must play one.
So then it goes to my turn, and I'm required to play a blue, so I do have one. I'm going to play the 6. Similarly, player 3 also is required to play a blue, so they decide to play the 5.
Then, player 4 happens to not have any blue in their hand, which means they can play any color card, including the trump suit. Now again, in this game, your goal is to score the least amount of points, which means you don't necessarily want to win tricks. So, to guarantee that they don't win the trick, player 4 plays a purple 9. So now that each player has played a card, the winner of the trick is the player who played the highest valued card of the lead suit. But had anyone been able to play a card that belongs to the trump suit, then the highest valued trump suit card would win instead.
So as an example, if player 4 had played the lowly 1 trump card, they would have won the trick. Now obviously we don't want to score points, they don't want to score points, so I would win the trick with my 6 from the lead suit. So these cards are going to go face down into my score pile and score me 1 point at the end of the round, which of course is not the goal.
And that is how a very basic, typical trick is played in this game. But there is a twist, because on your turn, instead of playing a card from your hand, you can choose to swap a card from another player's basket. Now, when swapping cards, you're required to replace the swap card with a face-down card from your hand. And the card that you took must be played as your card immediately. And so it's important to keep in mind that you're only allowed to swap with another player's basket, and the face-down card that you replaced it with will never be revealed for the rest of the round. In addition, there are only 4 specific situations in which you're allowed to swap cards. The first one being if you're the player who's going to lead the next trick.
In this particular example, I happen to have a lot of orange cards in my hand, which we know is the trump suit. So this is a moment for me where I can try to change the trump. Since I'll be the one leading the next trick, I have the opportunity to swap a card from my hand face down with another card out there. So let's say I want to swap this really powerful 10. Now, although this card is very high in value and I'm most likely going to win this trick, at the end of this trick, we are going to reassess to see what is the new trump.
In fact, anytime a card is swapped, the trump will need to be reassessed at the end of the trick. And so in this example, the trump will actually switch to the blue suit, because even though there is a tie for 2 cards, you'll add the sums of the values on the cards, and whichever one is higher is the new trump. Another way in which you can swap cards is if you swap for a card of the lead color. In this example, the lead color is orange, and so even if player 3 has orange cards in their hand, they could still swap a card from their hand for an orange card in front of another player, as long as it matches the color of the lead suit. And again, the face down card is never revealed for the rest of the round. You can also swap if you only have 1 card left in your hand of the lead color and you use it to swap with any face-up card in another player's basket. And lastly, you're allowed to swap if you have no cards of the lead color left in your hand. So in this example, it's my turn to play and I have no orange cards left in my hand. Considering that at the end of this round, we'll have to reassess what the trump suit is and it'll most likely be blue, I may want to hide my 9 of blue. So I'm going to swap my card with this player's face-up 9 and play that.
And again, because I played the highest card of the lead suit, I would win this trick, which is not good for my score pile, but it does get that onus off of me on those trumps.
That's right, because now that we're at the end of the trick, we reassess what the trump suit is, and it looks like it is the blue suit, because there are now 2 blue cards versus 1 card for all of the other remaining colors. Now keep in mind that if at the end of a trick there is a true tie, which means the sum of the tied suits are exactly the same, there would be 2 trumps. And if ever all cards in players' baskets are turned face down, then there would be no trump suit. Now at this point, Naveen has won a couple of tricks and is accumulating some points, and now it is his turn again to lead the next trick. Fortunately, on your turn, instead of playing a card from your hand or swapping, you can choose to play your 1 face-down sandbag card.
Like this. Now, played sandbag cards will never be revealed. They just ensure that I will not win this trick.
That's right, but you can only play your face-down sandbag card once during the round. However, if a player leads the trick with their sandbag card, the next player who is able to play a card is required to do so.
So they'll play the 2 red.
And now this becomes the lead suit. And now it's player 4's turn, and they are not eligible to swap any cards because they are not the player who's playing first in the trick. There are no red cards in other players' baskets, and they have more than 1 card of the lead suit. So in order to avoid taking this trick, they can choose to either play their face-down sandbag card, or they can play a rocket card. Similar to sandbag cards, rockets guarantee that you will not win the trick, and you're allowed to play them from your hand even if you have cards of the lead color. However, they score minus points to whoever wins the trick, which means now that it's back to me, I may want to win this trick, knowing that it's going to score me negative points. And of course, since I won the trick, I collect all the cards this time. And again, balloon cards are worth 1 point each, so I have a total score of -2 right now.
Also, keep in mind, rocket cards can be placed in your basket face up at the beginning of a round.
In addition, in higher player counts, you'll use the -7 point rockets instead of the -5. And that's essentially it. As soon as players have played all of the cards in their hand, as well as any face-down sandbag cards, then you go to end of round scoring. At this point, each player scores 1 point for each face-down balloon card they've collected, including any face-down cards that are in their basket. You'll score -5 points for each rocket you've collected. And finally, you'll score the sum of any leftover face-up balloon cards still in your basket, which is bad news for Naveen. And once scores are tallied, then you reshuffle the cards and you set up for the next round. But before rounds 2 and 3, for every 10 total points in your score rounded down, you may gain 1 additional face-down sandbag card.
And that's essentially it. After 3 rounds, whoever has the lowest total score is the winner.
And there you have it. That is how you play Sandbag. Now, if you have any questions about anything that you saw here today, please feel free to leave us a comment down below, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you all so much for watching the video. We really hope it was helpful. If you enjoyed content like this and would like to see more in the future, please consider subscribing. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.